Hi and welcome to All Terrain Outdoors. Today we're going to be starting a rather large project. We're going to be putting in a wildlife food plot back in this mountain field. Before we can get over to that area, we're going to have to build a bridge across the stream. I've taken our Wood-Mizer sawmill and cut a few large beech trees down for the wood for this project. Let's take a look at the wood, the creek, and the bridge project that's already in motion. Here you can see the wood. It's 1x, 3x6 beams, 4x4 beams, and this is the creek. It's not a large creek, but when it rains, it'll definitely swell. I've already started the bridge project. As you can see, the beams are in place and some of the decking. As you can see, we've stabilized the bank. We've done some excavating work, we've taken some field stone and strengthened up both edges of the bank, just so erosion won't take the bridge out. Then we've laid our 4x4 beams on top of that structure with the 4x6 beams laying on those. And then of course the decking. This will be a real nice bridge for getting the equipment across to the food plot area. Okay, let's talk about this beech wood for a minute. It's very rigid, very strong. It's a hardwood. It makes actually very good firewood. The only problem is, in order to nail this, we need to pre-drill the holes. I drilled them on a 45-degree angle. That way I can catch both the beam, the 4x6 and the 4x4. That'll make it strong, and any equipment we pull over this, there won't be any shaking. It'll be a nice rigid bridge. Okay, we're putting down the deck on the bridge. We're using a galvanized nail. You can use whatever size suits the wood that you're installing. Galvanized helps around the water and around with green wood. Also, we're pre-drilling the holes so we don't split the beech. And we're crowning the boards themselves. We're just checking the edge to make sure that we have the crown up. In other words, the grain is running on a circular motion with the cone upward. That will keep it from holding water as it dries out. It won't cup. It'll just it'll bead the water off. Makes the bridge, or helps the bridge last a little bit longer, and process continues. One thing about rough cut lumber, or lumber that I've cut with my Wood-Mizer mill, is it's not perfect. The edges are cut with a chainsaw, so we have to square them up so we have something that is buildable lumber. The edges are fine, the top is fine, but you always have a rough edge to begin with, just because that's where the log was cut with the chainsaw. So what I'll do is actually use this chainsaw, but I'll cut a straight edge, and that'll give me a nicer project. Alright, so I've trimmed off the far edge and squared it. Now I'm measuring with the tape measure to the length I need for the decking, which is 64 inches. Okay, then I'll square that off, and I'll use the chainsaw to cut my final length. Let me put the camera down here. We can cut this and every other board with the chainsaw. It's not a finished project. It's just wilderness bridge, enabling us to get to those food plots right over there. There you have it. Okay, we're almost finished with the bridge. We're just doing the ramps coming onto the bridge and going off the bridge. We've been using the same material, just cutting the 4x4s on an angle with the chainsaw, as you can see here. Sometimes projects have to go in stages, and this was the first stage of our food plot project, our bridge. This bridge will enable us to bring our food plot equipment across this creek safely. Let's just take a quick look at the finished product.